Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Silas Adeke, and this is the first ever Black Sheep Eulogy podcast. I got some notification. I'm going to put my phone on studio mode right now so nobody calls me or interrupt the section. Now on the show, I have one of the best, most dedicated powerlifters in the world right now on the show. And it's an honor to meet you, and I'm so glad that you're able to come on the show. And he also has a competition this week, by the way, but he was able to make time to come up on the show. And what this show is going to be all about, we'll be discussing adversity and the things, the discipline you have to go through to get to where you've been, the dedication it takes, the consistency. There are a lot of people out there that are trying to go into the powerlifting journey, and this would be a great show or a great episode for them to kind of learn from you. But before I go ahead and continue to conversate, I will want you to introduce yourself, your name, a little bit about your background, so the audience can know who you are for a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And like I said, thank you once again for having me on. Just because, we've known each other for a while, but I feel like I haven't really done anything outside of just, pursuing the sport and loving what I to do to earn this position. But my name is Quintin Postell Jr., and I've been powerlifting now for 6 years. I compete in the USAPL, Lifetime Natural, and it's a drug-free sport for the federation I compete in. But
one second, Q. Are you seeing your quality?
Huh? Is
your quality clear?
Yeah. Is it showing a little fuzzy on you?
It's fuzzy on my end.
It's okay. It's probably just a connection. If you look in the top corner where your name's at, it says uploading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a connection. I think we're fine.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're fine. But yeah, I've been powerlifting for a while. I fell in love with it. I actually did track in high school, and that was pretty good. I almost had a full ride to Carson Newman, but I ended up going down the military route, and so I ended up not getting to that. And then when I came back, and it was like, I enjoy powerlifting, and so that's essentially what I've been doing. But I am the previous 2021 junior state champion for Georgia, and I'll be doing the 2023 USAPL Georgia State Championship again. To me, it's a very big thing because in the USAPL Federation, Houston, Texas, Charleston, North Carolina, and then Atlanta, Georgia, are the biggest three kind of powerhouses, I feel like, in America when it comes to powerlifting. We have phenomenal athletes, lifetime drug-tested phenoms, just genetic freaks that walk this earth. And so I'm not in Houston, Texas, or North Carolina, but I'll take Georgia, Atlanta, coming out on top. I think right now, this Sunday, I'll be competing against 10 in my weight class, but 250 overall to be the best athlete. And I'm wanting, if I can crack top 3, because I compete at 264. So top 3 with dots, that's hella impressive for me. If anyone's walking away with a 500 dot, which is the weight to what you lift ratio, you're looking at a pro. You're a pro in the series. You're getting paid meat to go to. But yeah, that's pretty much it right now, in terms of just kind of a quick little glimpse without, kind of spoiling anything of what I love doing. So.
Oh, thank you very much, Q. Thank you for that introduction. Yeah. Now, my first question would be, what made you go into powerlifting? From running track and having opportunity to get scholarship and all this stuff and going to the military. What made you go into the powerlifting journey?
Yeah. And so, being 100% transparent, when I went to the military, I just ended up finding out not only was it not for me, but just where I was in life, it just wasn't working out. And so I decided just to actually get out of the military, leave it as a whole, just kind of go away. And I was kind of in limbo. I identified with the military a lot. I was during high school, I was doing track. And so I knew that I had lifted because of the military and I had lifted because of track. And so I just kind of fell back into the lifting aspect because it just kind of made me feel whole. I know a lot was going on in my life because I was homeless. My mom was on drugs a lot throughout my life. And so I graduated high school homeless. And so that kind of was just the normalcy that I had. And I wanted to do bodybuilding, actually. I really enjoyed it. I had a really good physique. I was very sculpted. but I didn't want to go down the ped route just because with my mom doing drugs, just because of the financial situation I was in, it just didn't seem like something that I was intrigued. And my friend was like, you should get into powerlifting. I was like 18 at the time, squatting like 500, 60, 550, benching 365, and then pulling like 650. And he was like, you should just get into powerlifting. And I was like, I mean, like I really want to, because at the time, like the stigma on powerlifting is totally different than now. Nowadays, we have freaks. We have like kings and queens of the sport who, like I said, are lifetime natty, and they're just inspirations, you know. A quote that I like to say is that every sport has to lift weights to be good at their sport. Our sport is just lifting the weight, and you know that what really resonated me with the sport aspect. I was like, I'm going to keep doing powerlifting. And so I walked away from the bodybuilding scene and I got into powerlifting, and it was such a pivoting point because powerlifting is a hard sport because it's a lot of science, a lot of numbers. It's a lot of adding stress, taking it away, proper nutrition, proper sleep. And, you know, I think you can kind of understand as a genetic freak, like some things are just given to you. You know, it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But if talent works hard, there's no competition. And I was like, you know, I have the gift and the knack, but it's like I need to, you know, saturate this. I got to educate this. I got to feed this to make myself better. And I feel like that's what made me even love the sport more, because I was just like, even if I am gifted, like even if I'm driving a Bugatti, right, I still need to be the NASCAR driver to get the most out of it. If I'm driving, you know, my Bugatti like it's a shitbox Honda, you know, I don't know how I ever cuss it, but if it's a crappy Honda, then, you know, I'm not going to get the most out of it. And so it just infatuated me because I was like, you know, it's a serious thing. Like you got to take it serious if you want to be the best, especially when it goes to the Olympic aspect of it. Because, you know, if I'm going to represent America and I'm going to have America on my back and I'm going to have that flag, like if I want to win, like I'm not going to disrespect the Germans or the Swedish or the Russians or the, you know, the Venezuelans or the Pakistanians who bust their ass for the rep of the country. They're taking it more serious. You know, they might have more money. They may be doing this full time. You know, I'm still working a job. I still have a job. You know, I have a wife. I have a full life outside of lifting. And so it was just so much to the sport that it just attracted me to keep doing it, because I was just like, it's just not that simple, you know? And that's what I think really made me love the sport of powerlifting. It made me honestly be a better man, because I was like, I can't be like everybody else if I'm going to represent everybody else. You know, anyone can be strong, but not everyone can, like, you know, be like the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's and, you know, the Amelia Earharts that we need, like, for the world of America, you know?
Yes, absolutely. You know, when you mentioned you have to separate yourself and stay focused on that path in order to kind of set example for other men. You know, that kind of like resonate with the black sheep, you know, which is why. 100%. Yeah, so, you know, you're following your unique path, and, you know, the time and dedication. How much time and dedication has this taken from you in terms of, you know, I don't know if you have other job that you do outside of this. Do you have a job you work outside of this?
Yeah, so right now I'm working at Costco, and so very good job, by the way. If anyone, I'm pro Costco. They pay good. Very low stress, easy job. I love it.
Shout out to Costco.
If I never make it in powerlifting, which okay, or YouTube, bro, I'm okay with my 401k. They pay like entry level managers make like $90,000 a year, so I ain't worried about nothing. Yeah, bro, and that's excluding bonuses. So, they pay very good. But in terms of your question, when I was younger, I wasn't as educated, like I said, and so the sport I would be training 6 days a week, 2 to 3 hours. But now I'm more educated. I have a very good support group, which shout out to my coach, Charleston. He's not only like a role model, but he's a father figure, very smart man. He trusts me, you know, and I take that not only with a grain of salt, or not, I don't take it as a grain of salt, but I take it with the utmost respect to not tarnish his name, you know, the company he represents, and be one of his athletes. But now I'm doing like 4 or 3 days a week, 2.5 hour sessions. And the goal now is, I feel like, to get the most out of the sport for me and how my body trains is, where can we introduce fatigue, go crazy, and then like drop it back to where it's just like, I'm not hurting myself, you know? And that's on top of like trying to balance, like, you know, like I said, a job and a wife. For instance, like the interview, like I was going to go get off of work, go gym, come here, interview, and then see my wife. But instead I decided to come here, be with my wife, take care of her, feed her some dinner, do this interview, use this as motivation to go hit the gym. So I'll probably be at the gym like 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, and then I'll be back up for work. So, but it's not. So that sounds way harder than it really is because I'm not going that heavy. I compete in 4 or 5 days. So like literally, I will go in there, do 5 sets in one chest, triceps, sit into my coach, get his extremely intelligent opinion, his information, soak that up, come home. So maybe be 45 minutes.
Still, that's a lot of dedication, you know, and
I love it though, dude. I love it. I feel like
absolutely.
And you know too, as a high level athlete, like with good genetics and just like that, you got that dog in you, dude. Like I love it. I love knowing going in there that like I'm leaving 1% better, and I know, and it makes me feel good knowing that there's other people in this world who know I exist, and I question their dreams and their realities and their goals, and they're willing to push themselves past comfortability to push me past comfortability, you know, like the natural competitive edge, the competitive athlete aspect of it. Like that's in any sport, but like I just get that from powerlifting. You know, I love it. So
yeah. So there was a research I saw about, you know, how extremely powerlifters and, you know, bodybuilders push their body. You know, they kind of supplement your diet. What are the challenges in maintaining, you know, calorie supplements or calorie surplus, or you know, I'm not too educated in terms of the level of diet a powerlifter has to consume and how you guys take care of your body through all those you know, hectic weight, because you know I do see your Instagram, you know, you pull weights that I wouldn't even ever think about.
Well, I definitely think you can. You're way too humble. You're if no one knows about you, you're like what, 6'7", 6'8",
6'9".
Bro, I remember when I first met you, I said you could breastfeed me like a full grown man. You're a master. so don't. You're way too humble, bro. You're a genetic freak of your own, dude. Because like, what do you weigh? You're like 280,
285 now.
285, dog, and you're shredded. You dies to the gills, my man. I'm like 265, and you're a demon, bro. 6'9", 290. You're like when like you ask a woman what's her dream man, I swear to God, they give you your stats. They 100% give your stats. 100%.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
But nutrition for me, honestly, right now it's not as precise. When I was younger, I took nutrition more serious. Now I understand nutrition. I use it as skill and numbers. Like, hey, I'm going to go squat heavy today, so I need to be looking at 200, 300 carbs, you know, or 70 to 60% of my carb daily intake in before I hit the session, because I do need carbs after the lift. But 300 carbs, 400 carbs sitting on the couch isn't going to help me when 250 to 300 is in the squat, you know? And I would say bodybuilding is way more strenuous of a caloric diet, but I think the difference between bodybuilding and powerlifting is you're both fueling for lifting, but a powerlifter is going to do heavy weights. Like for instance, last week, you know, I'll tell you guys, but I didn't post, but I pulled 740 pounds, lifetime PR, right? Woo. And to set up for that, I had to eat 72 hours post out. Hey, 60 grams here, 30 grams here, 40 grams here, 90 here, water. And then the day of, I had 100 grams of carbs in me with 1,200 milligrams of sodium, with 200 magnesium, took some creatine, got in the gym, made sure I had at least half a gallon, and then I lifted. Because even if you have the potential, right, like the whole Bugatti analogy that I use, even if the car is fast, you want to make sure you can change the oil and put in the correct gas for it to run efficiently. You know, and I just want to make sure that, like, you know, my cells were saturated to the best of their ability, to where I was able to, you know, eat, sleep right, make sure stress was low. Because, like, even things like, even if stress isn't a big aspect, even if, like, you got in a little cahoot, or you may be feeling down, or, like, you can't have that song that you listen to is just not hitting like today, that can affect, like, your overall performance. And a lot of people don't really take that into account. So I make sure that, like I kid you not, Sa, I will literally listen to the same song for like 3 hours in a row if it has me feeling good, because it's all about the mental psyche, right? It's all about, I need to feel like I'm who I'm trying to be, you know, like I'm speaking that to existence. Like I can't say I want to be the best in the world if I'm not eating, sleeping, training, right? If I'm not educating myself, like you said, with nutrition, if I'm not hyping myself up, you know, like it's all about what's the word? It's when you speak it into existence, right? Like I gotta to do that. I have to act like that, you know.
Yeah, when you see it, when you see it and you believe it, you can achieve it.
Achieve it 100%.
And also, what you're trying to add to what you already mentioned, where focus goes, your energy flows.
100%. Yeah.
So
I don't know if you know who Kai Green is. He's a famous bodybuilder, but he had a quote. He says, "The body leads where the mind follows," and I like that because I was like, a lot of people are mentally in the gym, but they're physically at the club, or they're physically drinking or smoking or doing things that are counterintuitive to where, their role models are. Like when you see a role model, do you see them in the streets causing drama, or do you see them in the gym, causing madness, So
yes. Wow, that's beautiful, man. So let me think about another question. I kind of got sidetracked listening to you. I'm lost in the explanation you've been giving. It's very beautiful, man. So what are you looking forward to in your competition this weekend?
Yeah. So off the rip, anything that I do with this meet will be a PR. So I'm extremely happy. But if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not really, what I'm saying? They're not really dreams of gold, And so I want to squat 611 pounds. I know 595's there. So I want to squat like 611. I benched 441 pounds or 200 kg like a month or two ago. And so my coaches were wanting to bench like 462 pounds. And then we pulled 740. And I want to pull about 760. So if I squat 611, bench 462, and pull 760, that'll put me at like 1,833 pounds. That will solidify top 3 in the world. So 100%. Well, in the federation, but respectively in the world. A lot of USAPL athletes are the number one. If you take them and you compare them to the international world competition, no one touches them. Like the Russell Ortiz, the Taylor Atwood, the Jesus Oliveras, Amanda Lawrence, who else? Danielle Mello, Delaney Wallace, Jonathan Keiko. All these people are the best in the world when they went to the Olympics, and they're all American. So my goal is, like I said, is I want to beat the Americans, because once I beat the Americans, then I'm top dog. So
you hear it, people. It's best in the world.
Hey, that's the goal. I don't know why would I train for second place? Why would I disrespect?
Absolutely.
Why would I disrespect my wife for the people who believe in me? They don't want me to be the best. They want me to be the standard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I want world records. I want to change the way people talk in the sport. Like, can't mention greatness without me. And I want it so bad, man. And a lot of people don't understand, like, what I want a lot of people to hear when it comes out of my mouth, and they ask me, what do I want? Is I want people to go get college degrees. I want people to go see the world and do things outside of this sport, because they have no chance winning here. Like, that's the competitive edge that I want. Like, I want people to understand that, like, don't give your life away just to get second place, because I'm not giving you first place. Like, 100%. I mean that with all of my heart. And if anyone beats me, I'm happy for them, because all they're doing is not only let me headhunt, but they're not seeing that, like, you better keep doing that. Like, the first time is luck, the second time is dedication, and the third time is a legacy. And I want a legacy. And it's like, if you don't want a legacy, then don't put your life on the line for it.
That's the warrior mindset, man. The black sheep.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the black sheep of powerlifting. There we go.
I want to win, dude. It's not everything to me, but as an athlete and a competitor, I identify a lot with, like, what I can do on the platform. I don't want to be known, I want to be known for 3 things, like my marriage, my success, and what I did on the platform. Those are 3 things that are very important to me, because those are 3 things that I not only have to offer to the world, but I enjoy investing in,
Yes. I was going to ask you my trying to round up the podcast, the show. I was going to ask you, what your advice will be for the upcoming powerlifters, people who want to look into going into powerlifting. But I think I already got your answer. Then he said, do not think about coming to powerlifting, because you're just going to be coming for second place.
Yeah, not for real.
So go get your college degree, because Quintin It's the best in the world.
Yep. We're trying.
Absolutely.
I'm not there right now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be humble, but I'm coming. I want them to know I'm
Yeah.
coming.
We speak it into existence.
Yeah,
That's what we're
they
doing.
know who I am. They don't want to speak, but they know who I am. They know I breathe. They know I walk. They know I train. They know I talk. So I'm in their mind. I'm the reason why they're gonna push that next rep. And to me, that's enough to show that I have a purpose.
Yes. So from your perspective, as a very dedicated athlete and someone who's been in the game for a very long time now, what would be your advice to someone who wants to look into get into fitness in general? You know, they're looking to change their body, they wanna self-develop, but they don't think they have enough time. They don't think it's possible. You know, what would be your advice to them?
So I would tell everyone, first off, if you want to get into fitness, do it because you love it, right? Because when I started in fitness, I did track and all that. I think track, any sports fitness, it's a health aspect. You're doing a competitive athletic move, right? And so I would tell everyone, just learn the principles, get educated on what you're infatuated, what you're passionate about, because nothing's worse than a stupid athlete, you know? But follow that aspect, enjoy doing that, find your purpose, and identify with what you want to stand for when you compete. And then if you don't want to compete, which I feel like a lot of times people end up competing, but if you don't want to compete, then just be happy, be content. Because a lot of people don't understand, just because you look good don't mean that you're mentally good, and just because you're mentally good doesn't mean that you're physically good. Like, you want to find the correct, like, what's the word? Not coagulation, but you want to find the correct synergistic, like, amount of like energy between like health, enjoying the sport, and then getting into it. And then if people enjoy doing it and you want to compete, and I tell people all the time, don't worry about anyone else but yourself. No one else but yourself. You need to learn principles, diet, mental health practices. Like, you know, if you're religious, you know, like, remember, commit to those gods. Vice versa, if you're not religious, you know, commit to whoever. Just have a very patient and very slow approach to it. Because once you reach your goals, or once you get to where you want to be and you're at the top, now you're being headhunted. And you don't want to collect and achieve those accolades and have so much stuff going turmoil outside of the sport that you take away the greatness that you're bringing to the sport, and you're taking away the competition from everyone else. If a guy beats you, you want him to beat you on your best day. You don't want excuses, you know? And if a guy doesn't beat you, then you don't want him thinking that he's the best in the world because he did cross your path. And so that's like the best thing I could tell for people who are new, want to get this sport. Fall in love with it, love what you're doing, and if you want to compete, take it slow. But when it starts getting there, and if it does, take it serious, you know, because a lot of people burn out in the sport. I don't think that's was talked about enough. Or even if you look at pro NFL, you know, I feel like the money changed a lot of people in the sport, and it made them kind of like go down the crazy route here or there. And just, I know friends who are like D1 in football, and they just got really upset with, like, you know, their outside life or things that like they weren't taught. Because I think an athlete isn't just a physical specimen, they're an intellectual being as well. Like, your body minds, or your body follows where your mind leads. And so it's like, you know, grow this so you can grow this even more, you know? But that's without trying to go on a, you know, word rant. That's the closest things I could just say to sum it up.
That's amazing, man. I really appreciate your advice. And hopefully the audience can take your advice as a grain of salt. And if you're looking to start your fitness journey, or you want to self-develop, or you're thinking about going to the gym, you don't know what the first step is, you know, I hope you can gather that courage and just start. Once to just start showing up, just show up. Once you show up, the rest will take care of itself. You know, you don't have to be a pro. You can start where you are, even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day. You know, whatever you choose to do, just start.
And even if it's that bad, if you feel like you're scared, bro, I promise you, the fitness community now is so much better than it was years ago, because everyone's so supportive. There's love everywhere. There's not one single person that you'll talk to in the gym who are going to be aggressive. Like, everyone's so loveful. And if it gets that bad, I know this sounds really funny, but if you feel like really insecure when you're working out, close your eyes when you're working out, you know? Like, now, not when you're squatting or deadlifting or benching. Don't do that, please. But, like, if you're doing single curls or standing triceps, just close your eyes. think of yourself in a happy place. Work on that mind to muscle connection. Try to put your mind, elsewhere out in the world to where you can focus on here. Because the mind is the strongest thing you have on the battlefield. The strongest thing. And if you let other people corrupt it, or your own doubts and your own insecurities destroy it, then you'll never get to flourish and be who you want to be, who the people deserve to see you become, and what the world needs you as the best man or best woman, Imagine if Usain Bolt was scared, or shy. Imagine if Christian Coleman or Tom Brady were afraid of becoming greatness. We wouldn't have the standards for greatness that we have today. So it's like, just think of yourself as the next Usain Bolt, you have to believe in yourself more than others because you're the one doing the work,
Amazing. Believe in yourself before others believe in you. Well, I'll be wrapping up the show now. Thank you for coming on the show, Q. Really appreciate it. Thank you for giving us your knowledge, and you're an inspiration in the community, in the city, and you're going to be representing us at the state, at the national, and the global level. And as this podcast and the brand continues to grow, we would love to work with you in the future. And that'll be the end of the show.
Yeah.
So,
thank you so much. I really appreciate you, man.
You guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions for Q. And what's your Instagram page so they can follow you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Preeminent Postell, PREEMINENT_Postell, POSTELL. And if that's very confusing, my YouTube is Quintin Postell, QUENTIN POSTELL. So
there you have it, people. Go follow Q on Instagram and his other social media platform. It's the best in the world. And good luck to you this weekend, Q.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.